Hey guys, welcome back on Daggett. Today we're going to be doing a nice quick tutorial and I'm going to be showing you how to draw a Japanese lotus flower in a tattoo style as usual. It's going to be a nice easy one today, so let's just jump straight into it and we'll go to the overhead. Okay, welcome back to the table guys. So today, as I said, we're drawing a Japanese water lotus flower. We're using Fabriano hot press watercolor paper as usual, and we'll start off with a mechanical pencil, or you can use whatever pencil you've got. So to start this one, we're going to draw the inside of the flower first. So to start this one, I'm going to go ahead and draw a small oval shape, and just underneath that, a little cone shape. So you do an oval and then a cone. Now whichever way this is facing, this will be the top of the flower, so whichever way this is pointing, that will dictate which way your flower faces. So if you want this flower facing the opposite corner up this end, you turn the whole picture that way. If you wanted it to face downwards, you turn it down towards the bottom of your page. From here we're just going to draw some really small ovals in the top sort of portion of this, the larger oval. They don't have to be any uniform size. In fact, if you randomize them, it looks a little bit more natural. So we'll go ahead and do that. Once you've drawn in all your small circles, we can start putting in a simple shape for some petals. So I'd like to start about the halfway point here and draw a line that curves out and back in, and the same down the other side. To join those two lines, you're going to come in and do a little hump like that, so it's going to be like a little wave. This will be the center line for your petal. Now to start adding the other petals, they're pretty simple. Basically what we're going to do is come out from either side and draw an S curve. Now the length of this line and the shape of this line will pretty much determine the shape of the rest of the petal. So you want to make sure this is in the direction that you want that petal flowing. From the tip of this line, we'll bring a curve back, and that'll be our fold over portion. From behind that line, we'll bring in the rest of the petal. So this part of the petal is folded over itself. Now when you're drawing these, generally you want to have the ends of the petal a little bit wider than the inside of the petal. So don't do them all the same width. We're going to come out and then back in. Alright, so we'll do another petal sort of mirroring that one on this side. I might bring this one down a little bit more. Like that. Now to draw the inside petals, you can cut through this back line a little bit and do the same thing. I'm basically going to put a petal up here, following that line down for a fold over, and then bringing another line out, making sure the bottom is thinner than the top. And you're going to go around and add as many petals as you like, basically following the exact same principle. Your curve line dictating the outer edge of the petal, your fold over, and then the back of your petal. Just like that. We might add another one at the top here. One more point to make, the more fold over you have, the less of the inside of the petal you'll see. So this petal is folded over quite heavily, so we only see a small sliver coming off the other side. Now from the bottom here, I'm going to do an open petal. So for that, we're going to come out. I'm going to go sharply back in to a little point. And then back out and around like that. So for this next part, we're going to refine the inside of the flower a little bit. So around the edges of this oval, the large one, you're just going to create a rough edge or a bumpy edge. And coming down from each of those bumps, you're just going to draw a line that curves back towards this center point of the flower. And they look like little grooves inside the pod of the flower there. Inside of each of these small ovals, you're going to do a line. You're basically duplicating the top line of the little oval, just underneath it. To create your stamens, you're going to come down to the bottom of this, sort of the top, part of this petal here, and you're going to draw these little noodles in. I've done this in my previous video on the chrysanthemum tutorial, but basically they're just like little noodle ends, and they're going to sort of stem from the center part of the flower here. Well, that's where it should look like they're coming from. You can do as many or as little of these as you like. So guys, fortunately the lotus flower is a pretty straightforward, easy one to draw. That's literally it for the pre-sketch. I'm going to go ahead and ink this one now, and then we can get into how to color this thing. But it's so straightforward to draw these, and you can do them in all sorts of different shapes and patterns, and the petals can be different sizes. You can do one with lots of petals or a few petals. It's completely a style thing. I've seen some tattoo designs where there's lotus flowers with like 20 or 30 petals, which is obviously unrealistic, but it looks awesome. So yeah, you can really play around with it. You can do very few petals or lots of petals and make it your own. So we're going to go ahead and ink this. I'm using my Artline fine liners as usual. This one's a 0.5, which I'll be using for majority of the lines. I'll be using a 0.8 for line boosting, and I'm also using a 0.3 today to do those little stamens on the inside and a few of the other very small details. But you guys already know how I do my line work, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this now, and then we'll get on to the coloring. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, our inking is finished. We're going to get into coloring this one. Okay, so in regards to the small amount of black that we're using in this one, I'm going to turn my page, and we're going to start with the big petal here. And at the bottom, we're going to come with a little bit of black like this, leaving a little white gap at the border there. And then taking our watercolor brush, and just blending that out. Okay, and we're blending it right out to white. For some of the other petals, you're going to do a similar thing. You're going to come in from the bottom, like this. And then you're just going to gently blend that out. And you just want to go through and do the outside of your lower petals like that. Okay, so the only other thing you're going to want to do in black here is those really small holes at the top of our pod. So I'm going to use my makeshift palette because I don't want it to be a solid black, and we're just going to do like a mid-tone grey in those holes. You're also going to want to do a little bit of this sort of washed out grey coming in from the edges of the pod here. Okay, so in terms of black, that's all we're doing for this one. For the pod of the inside of the flower, I'm going to use an Ecoline brush pen in lemon yellow. This is just like a fluorescent yellow. And I'm also using a Winsor & Newton brush marker in a bright green color. I don't have a bright green in the Ecoline brush pens, that's why I'm using this. It's an alcohol marker, so it will work with the brush pens. It won't blend too much with them, like it won't smudge with them. But you want to lay your Ecoline down first and get a nice smooth blend. So from the bottom up, we're doing the yellow, and from the top down, we're going to do the bright green. So I'm going to start with the yellow at the bottom of the pod here. Trying my best to avoid those stamens. And I'm just going to bring a yellow up towards the top, flicking it out as I go. From there, you're going to take your bright green and basically color the rest of the pod in solid bright green. Okay, and that's the pod of the flower pretty much finished. To do the stamens, we're going to use our deep yellow. This is the Ecoline deep yellow that I'm pretty much always using. And we're going to go in and color in the stamens that color. And that is the stamens. To do the inside of the petals and the outside of the petals, we're using a few different colors. So we're going to be using our Ecoline Scarlet Red, blending that out with our deep yellow for the inside of the petals. And for the outside of the petals, I think we're going to go in and use our pink carmine color. So I'm going to do the carmine first, because there's no blending involved, so this one's quite simple. You're basically going to go from the inside of the petals outwards, and you might do a little bit of blending at the ends of the petals if you want them to be a little bit lighter, but you're pretty much just blending it out to white, so there's not sort of too much to do there. So following our lines, bringing our carmine color up through the petal, just like that. And then if you want to at the very end, okay, so for the outside of the petals, as you can see, what I've done is pink from the middle, or carmine from the middle, outwards, and towards the end of the petal, I've just blended it out a little bit to a lighter pink, as though I'm blending it out to a white, and this way it gives it a bit of shading. It's a bit darker towards the center of the flower and comes out a little bit lighter towards the tips of the petals. To do the inside of the petal, like I said, we're going to be doing red and deep yellow, and the shading for this is exactly the same as the shading for my chrysanthemum video when I was doing the red to yellow fade on the inside of the flowers. It's exactly the same technique. So I'll show you on this petal here, and then I'll go through and do them all. So we'll take our watercolor brush and add a little bit of water to the petal here, and we'll bring our carmine, this isn't carmine, sorry, my scarlet red into the water. Take my watercolor brush and blend that out to white. We take our yellow, our golden yellow, and we're just gonna go straight into our red. Now as you can see, the outside is a pure golden yellow. The part where there was just a light red, where we were blending it out, goes orange, and then it eventually goes into our red. And if you layer the yellow on top of the red, it turns it more into a reddish orange color. Okay guys, as you can see, I've done all of the coloring now. Two small tips I want to give you. We're going to go through at the end with our gel pen, our white gel pen as usual, to do some highlighting. So I want to do a highlight right along that center line of the flower. Just there. And I might do a few little highlights on the inside of these holes, on that sort of the rim of the hole. And the very last thing we're going to do is go in with our Staedtler, I guess it's a red fine liner, and we're going to draw in the center lines. So going in from this big petal here, right from the back, you're just going to draw a curved line that comes out like that. And anywhere else that you think you'd see the line at the center of the flower, you can go ahead and draw that in. That is it, guys. I'm so grateful that you guys have watched my videos and supporting the channel. I've just reached like 730 subscribers, so we're doing well, pushing to 1,000, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to keep up with my online portfolio and any upcoming work I'm doing, head over to Facebook at Daggett Designs and click the like button so you can follow that page. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you'd like to see in the next video, what tutorials you want to see, or what art challenges you want to see. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll get a notification every time a new video comes out. So that's your way of keeping up with my channel, and that's my way of keeping up with you guys. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Bye.